Good morning, Grace Church family. It's Monday and we're on track with our devotionals today. Can you believe we are at the end of August? Oh my goodness, I am just like blown away by how quickly the summer has passed. But needless to say, the staff at Grace Church, we are going to continue to do these daily devotionals for you guys and for ourselves as well. And so let's get on with that today. So I wanted to just talk about a devotional that, as it happens, I was doing a devotional by Oswald Chambers this past week on Tuesday, and little did I know that I was actually reading and looking at a devotional from 4 months before, and this was not by accident. God clearly ordered my steps, and I will just share specifically how this devotional spoke to me. But first, I'm just going to provide a little bit of framework. So, have you noticed, ever since the onset of COVID, just how much prayer has become a vitally important part of our church? There have been Zoom prayer meetings. There have been, of course, we've started this weekly corporate prayer for our church along with the school and the daycare. There's also been a lot of activity through the prayer chain and our weekly prayer and praise sheet on Sundays, and also with the search committee having a great focus on prayer at this time as they are in the process of beginning their search for our next pastor. And many people as well, of course, just overall, they're requesting prayer, they're taking requests to the Lord, and they're praying for one another and over one another. And all of this is just absolutely fantastic. And we should take our requests to the Lord because He tells us to. You know, His word says, seek His face in all things. And because He loves and cares for us, you know, He is concerned about the things that we're facing. And so recall what John 16 verse 33 says, I have said these things to you that in me you may have peace. In the world you will have tribulation, but take heart. I have overcome the world. And Jesus is telling His disciples that challenges and difficulties will come. Not if they will come, but when they come. And more importantly, we have the assurance of Christ who will strengthen us and help us to endure and to overcome in the midst of these life storms. And His presence is absolutely dependable. And that's a pretty neat promise that we have from Him. So now, here's where I want to share about what spoke to loud and clear to me. And do you ever think that you are standing in the way of and the will of God with what you say when you pray? And I'm going to read from Oswald Chambers on the March 24th devotional. And I'm acting weird right now because I have a little chipmunk friend jumping around all over the place here. So anyways, so this devotional, which I hope you too will just pause and think on. And this is based on Matthew 10:34. Do not think that I, Jesus, have come to bring peace to the world, to the earth. I have not come to bring peace, but a sword. And so I'm going to read these additional passages directly from the devotional. When you begin to see that person in the middle of difficult and painful struggle, don't try to prevent it, but pray that his difficulty will grow even 10 times stronger until no power on earth or in hell could hold him away from Jesus Christ. Over and over again, we try to be amateur providences in someone's life. We are indeed amateurs, coming in and actually preventing God's will and saying, this person should not have to experience this difficulty. Instead of being friends of the bridegroom, our sympathy gets in the way. One day that person will say to us, you are a thief. You stole my desire to follow Jesus, and because of you, I lost sight of him. I'm going to skip over and go to this end piece. Listen intently with your entire being until you hear the bridegroom's voice in the life of another person, and never give any thought to what devastation, difficulties, or sickness it will bring. Just rejoice with godly excitement that his voice has been heard. You may often have to watch Jesus Christ wreck a life before he saves it. Wow, that totally grabbed my attention. Did it grab yours? I've heard it said many times that challenges and difficulties are happen in order to wake us up to see our absolute need for Christ in our life. But woe to me, I thought, that to pray against this opportunity in anyone's life by praying for God to remove a situation or take a problem away. Boy, I mean, Jesus knows, God knows what is needed to bring a person to the end of themselves. At first, I kind of thought that it sounded a little bit harsh, a little bit cold. You know, we want to, you know, like Oswald said, you know, it's the sympathy side that we often, but okay, so we often do that. But then I kind of realized that God knew, for example, with my life, he knew exactly what it would take to break me. And now I'm looking at my life, and of course, I can only say that was the very best thing that he could have ever done for me. And so I wouldn't want that to be wasted for anyone else. So another important consideration is that Oswald isn't telling us that we cannot empathize with a person's situation, but it's to feel bad. It's when we feel bad for them that and want the situation to be stopped, to be taken away, you know, and the problem to disappear. I think that's where the problem really lies, and that's kind of what Oswald said, right? I'll definitely be thinking and praying differently, because I don't want to stand in the way of, you know, God at work. You know, he doing what only he can do. And I hope that this challenges you to think about how you are praying, and to understand that all of our worldly difficulties, including what's going on during this whole time of COVID, they are being used to transform, to shape, and to purify us to ultimately be more like Christ. So, like the end of the devotional said, you may often have to watch Jesus Christ wreck a life before he saves it. And so I pray that that is what happens during this time of COVID. So on that note, you know, I hope that is actually more of an encouragement to you to see that God is at work. So God bless you, God keep you, have a great week, and we will see you again next Monday. Take care. Bye for now.